Way to secure victory with that endgame tactic. Opening with the queen's pawn controls the center and usually leads to a more positional development of the pieces. d5 establishes a presence in the center, controls the e4 square. Knight c3 develops the knight toward the center, attacks the d5 pawn, and control. They bring out their knight, increasing their control over the center. Your bishop is ready to be developed to an active square. They are threatening to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. You missed an opportunity to move a piece to safety. They missed a chance to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. You are forcing your opponent to double pawns. A straightforward recapture. You defended a pawn by pinning one of its attackers. They are threatening to tactically win a pawn. You trade off equal material. A clear recapture. You permitted the opponent to win a rook by trapping a piece. They missed a chance to win a rook by trapping a piece. You prevented your opponent from being able to win a rook by trapping a piece. They castled kingside, placing their king in a... The game was close to even, but now you are in a worse position. They had an opportunity to punish your inaccurate play, but didn't catch it. Your move gives up the right to castle in the future. Your opponent slipped up, but you didn't take advantage of it. You get a chance to kick a bishop. Your piece jumps in to protect a queen. This move puts their bishop on a safer square. You missed an opportunity to develop further. You allowed the opponent to play a stunning move, ignoring the threat on the bishop. They move the bishop to safety. You're kicking their bishop out of a useful square. A correct move to get their bishop out of harm's way. You allowed the opponent to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. They capture your pawn and will win material after all trades are completed. You take back. This move uncovered a check on your king. You step your king away from the checking queen. They played one of the best moves here. You're going to end up losing a bishop. They found a way to win your bishop. A good choice to move your threatened queen. They overlooked an opportunity to win material by pinning a piece to the king. This move loses a bishop. They overlooked an opportunity to tactically win a bishop. You missed an opportunity to connect rooks. You permitted the opponent to pin a bishop to the king. They missed a better way to pin a bishop to the king. A clear recapture. They played the strongest move available. You dodged the check, moving your king out of harm's way. This move puts their rook on a safer square. You overlooked an opportunity to challenge the opposing rook for the open file. You permitted the opponent to kick a knight. Their pawn attacks your knight, kicking it out of its current position. You allowed the opponent to win material through a fork. You can pick up a free pawn. They overlooked an opportunity to win material through a fork. That pawn was yours for the taking. They missed a better way to evade the check from the opposing knight. You permitted the opponent to win a tempo by threatening a knight. They had a better way to evade the check from the opposing knight. You are now able to... You allowed the opponent to force eventual checkmate. You get a chance to win material through a fork. They missed a chance to force eventual checkmate. Nice fork, you'll be winning material. Their king steps away from the check by your queen. You're continuing down the road to checkmate. You captured that. That was the only move. Getting closer to the forced checkmate. That was the only move. You're still on the road to checkmate. They move their king out of the check from your queen. Your opponent has escaped a checkmate and got a second chance. Capturing the checking rook. A logical capture. That was the only move. This is the way to win material. You are threatening to check. This makes a passed pawn. You allowed the opponent to win material through an eventual fork. They missed a chance to win material through an eventual fork. You permitted the opponent to win a rook through a fork. This is the only move that works. This move will cost you a rook. Capturing your hanging rook. You are threatening to force eventual checkmate. You get a chance to force eventual checkmate. Your opponent will be forced into checkmate if you find the right moves. You'll win a pawn using a discovered attack. Their king steps away from the check by your knight. You continue the checkmate attack. You captured a free pawn. Their king steps away from the check by your queen. You no longer have forced checkmate. This move gives you the opportunity to win their queen. Nice find. You found the only move in this position. You dodge the check, moving your king out of harm's way. This removes your knight that was threatening to win material. That queen was yours for the taking. They move their king out of the check from your queen. This is a fine move. Your opponent is losing a bishop, but you are already in a winning position anyways. You will win a bishop with a fork. This move puts their bishop on a safer square. Well done, an excellent move. This move left their pawn hanging. You captured that free pawn. Their king steps away from the check by your queen. You continue the checkmate attack. You captured a free bishop. They are right on target. You're still on the road to checkmate. They move their king out of the check from your queen. You continue the checkmate attack. You won a pawn for free. They made one of the top moves in this position. Your passed pawn advances to its goal. You are now able to force eventual checkmate. You're still on the road to checkmate. Their king steps away from the check by your pawn. You continue the checkmate attack. Their king steps away from the check by your queen. Your move gets closer to checkmate. Precise move from your opponent. You're still on the road to checkmate. They move their king out of the check from your pawn. You continue the checkmate attack. They move their king out of the check from your queen. You're continuing down the road to checkmate. That was the only move. Getting closer to the forced checkmate. I like their choice. You're still on the road to checkmate. Their king steps away from the check by your queen. You continue the checkmate attack. They move their king out of the check from your queen. You did it. Nice checkmate.